everyone, and welcome to Lauren Reed Color. In today's Saturday Snippets, we are beginning a new page, and it is going to be in Meine Reise, durch Afrika by Rita Berman. The page that we're going to be doing is this one. It is the page that I am calling the Crocodile on the Sandbank. I wanted to do this page last month for Jamie at Finding Joy in Colors Wild Year of Color 2026 hashtag, but I ran out of time, and so we're going to be doing it together on the channel. It is the page that won the poll. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my inspiration for the title for the page. So yeah, I've called it the Crocodile on the Sandbank, and that is based on a book series that I'm reading. It is the Amelia Peabody series by Elizabeth Peters. It is about an archaeologist in the late 19th and early 20th century named Amelia Peabody and her husband Emerson, and they excavate lots of places in Egypt. So yeah, when I saw this page, I immediately thought of the title of the first book in the series, which is The Crocodile on the Sandbank, and yeah, that is why I am calling it that. Right, so for this page, we are going to be using Pablo pencils, Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils. Let me show you the colors, and I'm also going to give you the Prismacolor equivalents. So one moment, let's put this on the side. I also want to show you the swatches. This is a page which I have not yet decided what I'm going to color all the elements. There is no fixed color palette. Rather, we're going to build the color palette as we go along, but I have decided that I wanted a purple gradient sky, and for that we are going to be using, let me get the Prismacolor equivalents as well. So for that we're going to be using mauve, which is that one. We're going to use periwinkle. The equivalent for the mauve in Prisma is lavender. We're going to be using periwinkle. The equivalent for that is Parma Violet. We're going to be using Royal Blue, which, even though it's a blue in the name of the pencil, it's actually more of a purple. As you can see, it's like a deeper, cool purple. And for that, in Prismacolor, it's Imperial Violet. We're going to be using Blue Indigo. Night blue, which the equivalent for that is Indanthrene in Prismacolor. And we're going to be using Blue Indigo, which is also a purple color. It is not a blue color. And the closest I could find in Prismacolor was Dioxazine Purple Hue. So yeah, that is the color for that one. We're also going to use white. And I'm thinking of also using my dark indigo in Polychromos for the deepest shadows, because there is no darker pencil in the Pablo set. The Pablo set is they're muted colors, and so if we want a really dark indigo, we're going to have to go with the Polychromos. Right, so those are the colors we're going to be using today, and before we get started, I'm just going to show you what I've been up to this week. I actually managed to complete a page this week, which is a minor miracle considering a certain event that happened this week, which I will tell you about in the chatty portion of the video. Yeah, this is a perfect time to remind you that these are chatty coloring videos, and if you do not want to listen to me ramble on about all sorts of things, feel free to mute me. Anyway, so the page that I completed is in Color Me Capybaras by Ella Yarzabek, and the page that I did is this capybara in the field. So I call this one Springtime Snooze because he is snoozing on his picnic blanket. I think that he was wandering around in the wild with his book of flowers and leaves, and then he got tired, so he had to lie down and have a little sleep. So this is the color palette that I used for the page, the greens and the oranges and pink and purple. And I added the blue to the palette because there was this body of water and no blue on the palette, so I added that myself. And then I also added a touch in the band on his hat so that there would be a cohesive look. It's always good to use the same colors in different parts of the page to create a uniform look for the page. So I did that also on the bushes here at the bottom, the orange bushes, and again here in the yellowish orange trees. The reds are also in the ladybugs, then the pinks are on the bottom and the top, and so on. So yeah, also I did my usual grass technique, which for which there is a tutorial up on the channel if you're interested in seeing how I did that. I actually took a page out of Annika from Axic Fumble's channel. I don't know what happened to my brain there. And what she does is on this paper, she takes watercolor pens, she dips it in a little cup of water to mute the color, and then she puts it down on the page. And she starts at the top and works down. So as the water lessens on the tip of the pen becomes darker. So I used that technique on the grass, and I got this really lovely shading, which I then put pencils on top. And the pencils that I used on this page are, of course, my Castle Arts. And yeah, I really love the color palette and the end result. This was colored for the Wild Year of Color 2026 hashtag prompt for April, which is a capybara. And that is hosted by Jamie at Finding Joy in Color. So yeah, I really love how this page came out. Very, very pleased with my cute capybara. Right, so that is that page. The rest of the pages that I worked on this week are all whips. So I am working on my go-to-pop flower pot houses in my do-it-yourself coloring planner. So these are ones I've downloaded from Etsy, stuck into the journal, and am coloring using Castle Arts. So I so far have colored the little pots, and I've started on the flowers. Usually I would have finished coloring this one by now, but I got sidetracked by other things, and so it got put on the back burner, but I am back into it, and I'm hopefully going to finish it this week. Okay, so that is the page in my journal. The next book I worked in is By the Sea, Color by Number by George Tufexis. Early on in the week, I didn't think I would have a lot of time to color, so I decided one morning that I would just sit down for 10 minutes and put some pencils on the page. And for that purpose, I chose this book because this is the book that I go to when I just want to relax, clear my mind, not worry about colors, and just color for a very short period. And the page that I'm working on in this book is Little Lizard's Adventure. If you've been watching the Saturday Snippets and has been seeing some of the progress on this page, you will notice a significant change. I don't know what happened. I sat down really just to color for 10 minutes, and the next thing I knew, I had colored the top half of the page. I do not know how that happened. It was completely mindless, but very, very relaxing. So I am using Castle Arts on this page, and I colored in the rest of the sky. I shaded it, and then I put in the clouds, and I did these birds. These birds are the strangest looking birds I have ever seen. They have a weird shaped head. They kind of look like a Muppet. I don't know. Really, really weird. And the details are so tiny that I had to use a magnifying glass. So let me just get the magnifying glass to show you which one I use. So quite a few years ago, I was watching Color and Chat with Sammy. I really miss her. I wish she'd come back to coloring more. And she was showing us a magnifying glass that she uses. And of course, I thought that was ingenious, and I had to go and get it, and I did. So it is this magnifying glass. It's really beautiful. And I can see the tiny areas on the page using it. So that was a perfect use for this magnifying glass, which I don't use very often, but for this page, it was very useful. That was that. That was my page in By the Sea by George Tufexis. Another page I worked on this week is in The Night Voyage by Daria Song. I did not make a lot of progress, not as much as I would have liked. Anyway, the page that I'm working on is this double page spread of the cat. Last week I talked about how I wanted to do a cityscape sky. This is the inspiration for this image, and I managed to color the other side of the page. So I started last week with this side, and then this week I did this side, and that was the end of my progress. I also made a bit of a mistake there. I was coloring the wrong building, but that's okay. That'll be easily covered up with the Inktense, which is going to be a dark purplish color in line with the inspiration image. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to add more buildings. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Neocolor 2s, I'm going to do the background, and once it's dry, if I like the way that I've got it, I won't do anything else. But if I think that there should be like one more layer of buildings, then I will add that on top of the Neocolor 2s. So yeah, I'm really liking the way that this is coming out. I like the effect that I've achieved with the Inktense, and that it's covering up these stars. But even if it doesn't cover up the stars completely, that's fine. I'm even considering taking a white gel pen and putting in the stars on top of the buildings, but that's for a later time to decide. But yeah, I think it's going to come out really beautiful once it's done. Okay, so that is The Night Voyage by Daria Song. And the last page that I worked on this week is in Twilight Garden by Maria Trolle. I am doing a buddy color with the wonderful Joe from Geordie Colors, and we are doing this spring bouquet page. Geordie's almost done with hers, and it looks amazing. She has the most gorgeous bright red poppies and teal leaves that really complement it and make the red pop. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I decided that I wanted to do pink poppies. I've seen so many gorgeous pages with red poppies, and I wanted to do something different. So my poppies are different shades of pinks, and I am using Prismacolor pencils for this project. I've decided not to base with any water medium because I want to see just how the Prismacolors will work without any basing on this paper. And actually, they are working very nicely. The color is laying down quite smoothly, blending very nicely. So yeah, I don't think I will be using any water medium on this this particular page. Maybe on a different page, but for this one, it's just going to be Prismacolors. And yeah, so far I'm enjoying the process of coloring the poppies, and I'm looking forward to continuing. Okay. That's my page in Twilight Garden by Maria Trolle, and I'm really enjoying coloring it and looking forward to continuing. Right, so let's move on to the purpose for today's video, which is to color our page in Meine Reise durch Afrika. Right, let's get started. Let's get to our page. I have a protective sheet underneath, and then this is our page. It's a brand new book. I haven't broken the spine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to do this sky. I think we're going to work from the top of the page down. Last time we worked from the bottom of the page up. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to take this mauve, yes, from the Pablo's. If it's a Prismacolor, then it's lavender. Okay, and I'm just going to put this color over the entire sky. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit and then we'll get started. Okay, and Rita has very helpfully given us a lot of the indications for the shading, which is really nice of her. So let's just take this color, yeah, and put it down very lightly. Okay, we're going to be building up the colors. Okay, Pablo pencils are, I would say, midway between Polychromos and Prismacolor in terms of harshness. They're a bit more hard than Prisma and quite a bit softer than the Polychromos, but I'm hoping that they will layer nicely on this paper. Karen from My Colorful Country Life did a video where she checked out which pencils would work well on this paper, and this one got a really high rating. So I'm hopeful that it will work well. We want the moon and the stars to glow a little bit, so let's really lightly here. Yeah. Okay, so I hope that you have all had a good week. Mine was quite eventful. It didn't start out that way. I thought that I would have a really nice restful week and that I would be able to record videos for the channel. I had my plans all, organized. I was going to record the Wish You Were Here page. I was going to record my pencil collection. I did manage to eventually fit that in. So I had all these great plans, but of course, you know what they say. Yeah. The best laid plans of mice and men. Anyway, so on Monday, Toby broke his leg. So we went out to do some errands and we were only gone for an hour, I swear. And I came back and he was lying on the floor. And I at first I didn't realize what had happened. I thought, oh, okay. He's just, lying on the floor for some reason. And I picked him up and it was obvious that there was something wrong with his leg. So I'm just assuming, because I know him, that while we were out, he jumped off the couch and he broke his leg. So my regular vet has retired. And his office is in my neighborhood. That's Toby whimpering because I'm not paying him any attention. My vet retired, and I'm just shading where Rita has indicated. Okay, that's enough of this color. I think we want to put other colors. So he retired, and he was in my neighborhood, and I needed to find a vet. So my neighbor has a different vet to me, so I asked her, and she gave me her vet's number, and I called up, and they said, bring him right now. So we packed him off in the car, and it's not like the new vet is very far away, but we do have to drive there. It's I would say 3 minutes by car. So we packed him off in the car, and we took him in, and she immediately, gave him an X-ray. She had to give him an anesthetic because he was wriggling and he was obviously in pain. Yes, I'm talking about you. She gave him an anesthetic. He's almost 18 years old, and general anesthetics are not an option. So she gave him a sedative, and then she did an X-ray, and we're very lucky. Well, he's very lucky in that the break is not on a joint, so he doesn't need surgery, and it didn't break the skin. And I apologize if this is creeping anyone out. If you're not interested in hearing about Toby's woes, skip over or mute. So he didn't need surgery, for which I was very grateful. There's no way he could have a general anesthetic. No ways. So, she put a splint, and he's got a cast. And he's feeling very sorry for himself, but he can't walk. It is the back right leg, so he can't walk on it. And so we have to, when we go out for potty breaks, he needs to be carried. We are trying to find solutions for this because I don't think we can continue to carry him up and down stairs and to the grass. And he's got to have a plastic bag on his leg so that the cast doesn't get wet. And it's a real challenge. And we're doing that. So we have to. Okay, now here, I'm just going to put this very lightly in this area because we're going to merge the tree fronds with the background when we get there. Okay, and I see that here it is also sky, so we're going to do it here as well. But it's going to be really dark there, and we can put some of this here too. Do we want to put some in these little sections as well? I know that Rita likes to merge all of her colors together, so we can try that. Okay, I think we'll also do it here. Like this is a gap in the... yeah, so if you hear whimpering, that's him. He's actually much better. We've developed a routine. The first day was kind of tough because he was in pain. He gets a painkiller twice a day, and he doesn't seem to be crying. All this whimpering is because he wants attention, and he also tries to find a comfortable spot. And he when we're in the kitchen, he wants to come in the kitchen, so he like scoots on his on his bum. He scoots towards the edge of the mattress. We bought him a little doggy mattress, so he scooches towards it, trying to get up, but he can't get up because he wants to come to the kitchen so that he can get whatever it is that we're making. But that's not working out very well for him. Okay, we're going to go on to one of our midtones, which is the royal blue, okay, which is the indanthrene. Let me just look at the little book where I've written down the colors, and the royal blue is imperial violet. So yeah, we're going to put this in the shadow areas. I don't think it needs any sharpening. Okay. So we're putting it on top of the lavender. Okay, that's brick. Okay, we don't want to put purple on brick. Again, you can use the indications that Rita has given us for the shading. Okay, but here we wanted it to glow, so let's leave that. Yeah, so we've gotten sort of into a routine. We are trying our very best. He doesn't see, so as I said, he's got painkillers, which he has twice a day, and it's got to be done with food. And he's got this is new, he doesn't want to drink any water. So I looked up on the internet, and they said to like put a little bit of low sodium chicken broth. So I've made some low sodium chicken broth for him, and I put in some of his dry food, and then he'll drink. He will drink all of the water, and then he will drink, then he'll eat the dry food. Well, it's now wet food because it's all soggy. Then that he'll do. But when I just try to give him regular water without any of the food, even the low sodium chicken broth, he won't drink it if there's no food in it. I think he's just gotten very clever and realized that he will get extra food if he refuses to drink the water. He's far too clever for his own good. Yeah, so that was our very traumatic experience on Monday. And of course, it took all of my coloring plans and out the window. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry for the break. Every once in a while, Toby decides that he wants to go and lie on his broken leg. And I have to go and sort him out. So that might happen a couple of times during this video. Anyway, yeah, what else did I do this week? I finished watching Jack Ryan. I finished all of season 4. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I understand that there's a movie going to come out, but the show is over. Yeah, I enjoyed season 4, although I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the first 3 seasons. It seemed to have a bit of a slower pace, and it also started with a flash forward. So I don't really like flash forwards. With flash forwards, you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're constantly waiting for the events of the flash forward to happen, which is very, it's very nerve-wracking. So I didn't really like that aspect of it. But yeah, it was good overall. I enjoyed the storyline. The thing is, there was also another thing that I wasn't really too happy with, was that there's an ostensible good guy who's not really a good. I mean, he's a good guy, but he's really morally questionable. So yeah, a very definite anti-hero. And on the other hand, there's another good guy who's obviously meant to be an anti-hero, and I really liked him. So also, it was a bit more predictable than the other series. I knew who the bad guy was, the second they were introduced. It was so obvious. So, all right, let me just move over a bit so we can do this bit too. Okay. Yeah, so I finished watching that, and then I needed to find something to watch. So I have HBO Max, and I thought, okay, so I'll go and have a look what's on offer, because there are lots and lots of TV shows that I never watched when they first came out, for lots of different reasons. Let us go in with our next darkest color, which is the indigo blue. And this one in Prismacolor, hold on, let me get my list, is the dioxazine purple hue. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Okay, so let's go back to this side. Okay, and this is only going to go in the darkest shadow areas. Okay, on top of the royal blue. Okay, yeah, so I needed to figure out what I wanted to watch next. So I went onto the HBO Max player, and I started looking through all the offerings. And I decided I would watch True Detective. So I know it's a pretty old show, but I didn't watch it the first time around. I don't know why didn't I watch it? I think it was on at the same time, perhaps, as Criminal Minds, and I was watching that. So anyway, yeah, I started watching the first episode, and oh wow, it is so slow. And I asked the roommate, the assistant Karen, she's much more into TV shows than me. She's watched a lot more. So I asked her if it, if the pace picks up, and she's like, perhaps in the third or fourth episode. And do I have the patience for that? And I decided I didn't. So I know it's supposed to be really, really good, but I don't have the patience to wait for the pacing to pick up. And I love Matthew McConaughey. He's just a fabulous actor. And Woody Harrelson, they are amazing actors, but I just could not with the slow pacing. And there's also the plot line is a little bit weird. Like there's a lot of jumping back and forth between the past and the present, and even in the past there's jumping back and forth between different time periods, not time periods, but like time sections, and it was really confusing to follow. So I just decided I don't have the patience for this right now, and I stopped after the middle of the second episode. So, yeah, I went back to the drawing board or back to the HBO player to see what else was available. I'm just making sure I'm on camera. And I saw that there's a show called The Leftovers. So I read the synopsis, and it's about the leftovers are people who are the families and friends of people who are left behind after there is a mass disappearance. Like 2% of the world's population vanished in a second, in the blink of an eye. All sorts of people, mothers, fathers, children, babies. And the show is about the people who are left behind and how they cope with it. So that premise sounds really intriguing, and I decided to start watching it. It reminds me of quite a few other TV shows that I've watched and enjoyed. What are we going to do? We're going to blend now. We're going to go back to the mauve, which is the lavender, and we're going to blend out these colors. So we're going to go back in with this. We want to leave these highlight areas as much as possible so that we can get a glow. So be careful not to go too far near to these moon and stars while we're blending. Yeah, so as I was saying, it reminded me of quite a few TV shows that I've watched and enjoyed. There was a TV show called the 2600, the 2100. Yeah, either the 2100 or the 2600. And it was it's sort of like the opposite. So people had been disappearing over a few decades since the 1940s. And in one day, they all come back, all together. So all of the people who had vanished over this time period of about, I want to say 40 or 45 years, all come back in one moment. And most of the show is the investigation into what happened to them. Where did they go? Why did these particular people vanish over these years? What happened to them? And to put another twist on it, they've all come back with special abilities. So they can do different things. Some of them are telekinetic, some of them can read minds, some of them, they all have psychic powers of one kind or another. Some of them are good people, some of them are bad people, some of them commit crimes. And the main characters are the FBI agents who are investigating them and what happened to them and the crimes that they commit. And it starts out sort of like very episodic, the first season. Basically, we're introduced to the characters and their abilities and if they commit crimes or if they're a victim of a crime. And then as the show progresses, the conspiracy theory starts. If I remember correctly, I think... Oh, you gave me a fright. That was the assistant who walked by and scared the daylights out of me.
The 4400?
The 4400. Thank you. I did. I killed off half of the cast. Okay. Where was I? Wow, that I jumped out of my skin. Okay, so thank you to the assistant for correcting me on the name of that show, which is actually called, thank you, the 4400. I had killed off half of the characters. Anyway, where was I? So I really enjoyed the 4400. It had good. I just took a break and Karen was making her tea, so we were discussing TV shows, and I was talking about how I like these shows that have closure. I don't like it when they don't have closure. So the 4400 had, if I remember correctly, quite good closure. And I'm hoping that the leftovers will have closure as well. And as we were, as she was making her tea, and we were chatting, we were comparing it to other similar shows. So there's also Manifest, which I loved. I loved Manifest. So also very similar. There, the people are on an airplane and they vanish and then they return after 5 years. And of course, it's all about, where they went, what happened to them and finding out and all of that. And then Karen just told me that the actress who's the main character in Manifest has a new show. I don't remember what her name is, so I will have to look that up and put it on the screen. But the name of her new show is The Hunting Party, and quite a few of the actors who are in Manifest put in an appearance in this show as well. So I will be adding it to my watch list. Yeah, so another show that it's not exactly the same, but it's similar is there was a show called Flash Forward, which I loved. The only problem is there was only one season. There was no closure. I was really annoyed when they canceled it. Okay, we're going to go back in with the indigo blue and deepen up shadows. As you can see, this is a very good example of a page where layering is the way to go, and I am a colorist who enjoys to layer. So keep that in mind if you're following along. If you are using Prismacolor pencils, you do not need to put down as many layers as I am putting down with the Pablos. Okay, the Prismacolors are a wax pencil. They're much more creamy. They're probably not going to work in the same way that the Pablos are going to work on this paper. I don't think you're going to be able to put down as many layers. So I'm thinking that one pass for each color with the Prismacolors will be enough. But if you're doing the Pablos, then we're going to continue layering them to get the depth of color and the shading that we want. Okay, so yeah, after that small digression, back to the indigo blue. Okay, in our deepest shadows. Okay, and if you do this, you can merge it in with the other colors. We might even put some pockets of this color in other places. Let's see if we can, I'm not sure, I don't want to overdo it. So just very lightly in some of the other areas where there is indications for shadows, you can put some of this color. It will create a nice look to it, but not a lot, because we do not want to mess with the glow that we're getting here. Okay, so I'm just deepening up shadows. We're gonna put in the Polychromos dark indigo as well for the deepest shadows. Yeah, so anyway, Flash Forward was a similar show. It everyone loses 30 seconds of their, I think it's 30, or a minute and 30 seconds. Time sort of stops for a minute and 30 seconds. Everybody freezes except for a handful of people. And which they catch these people on like security cameras. They're moving around. While everybody else is frozen, these people are moving around doing something. And yeah, and it was such a cool premise. And the plot is about, you know, the aftermath, how people deal with it, what happens to their lives, what was happening to these people at the moment that they froze. Because people start having memory. If I remember correctly, people start having memories that are of the future. Oh yes, and now I remember. During that minute and 30 seconds, everybody has a flash forward. Everybody sees a moment in time in their future and what will happen to them. Okay, I remember now. Great show, great premise, excellent acting, no closure because the show got cancelled. Very disappointing. Anyway, so yeah, the Leftovers reminds me of these shows, and I'm looking forward to continuing to watch it. Okay, so now we're going to, I do want to go back in, before we do the indigo, the dark indigo, I do want to go back in with the mauve, and just with the lightest possible pressure, go into these areas where there is shading, but it's in our highlight area. So very, very, I'm holding the pencil far down the barrel so that I'm only getting a touch of color, barely any, and then we're going to blend it out with white. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. Let's put a little bit darker there. And we're going to blend out also those little patches of color that I put in. Okay, all right, now we're going to go in with the Polychromos indigo, and only in the deepest shadows. Nowhere else. Around these objects that are casting shadows. Yeah, so that's what I've started watching. I finished my books. I finished listening to God Rest Ye Royal Gentlemen. That took a surprising twist, that book. It was all going in a certain direction, and then all of a sudden, the ending was complete. I mean, now in hindsight that I know the ending, there are definitely indications of the ending throughout the book. There are hints, there's foreshadowing, but I missed it. And so the twisty ending was a bit of a surprise. And it did not go in the direction that I thought it would. It turned out to be a serial killer book. Anyway, so yeah, that was good, and I enjoyed that. And I also finished my other book. That one did go in the way I expected it to go. It was a conspiracy theory book, and it's called At Close Range by Laura Griffin. So I finished that one too. Satisfying ending. I enjoyed it. No twist or surprise. It was quite obvious what was going to happen. And now I am starting a new audiobook and a new regular book from the library. I'm listening to I think it's the 7th book in the Countess of Harley series by Diane Freeman, on audio, narrated by Sarah Zimmerman. Interestingly enough, there are 2 audiobook versions for this series. One of them is narrated by Sarah Zimmerman, and the other one is narrated by, what's the name of the narrator? Her name has escaped me. I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, I prefer the Sarah Zimmerman version. The other narrator, her English accents are not very good. The book is set in England in Victorian times, or Regency times. And Sarah Zimmerman's, even though she's an American narrator, she's an American, her English accents are quite good. Whereas the other narrator, she's an American as well. Her American accent is fine. Her male accents are also good, but her British accent is really bad. And since the books are set in England, that's kind of important. So I prefer the books narrated by Sarah Zimmerman. Okay, we're just making sure we're getting into... There was one area... Oh, yeah, here. Just want to make sure that that's dark. Okay, and now we're going to take the white, okay? And we are going to blend out all the colors except for these darker shadow colors. So we're only putting this in the highlight area. And this is this is an excellent white. So it's going to really lighten up the areas. Keep this in mind. We will go back in and put some of the color back after we've blended with the white. Yeah, so I'm watching that. I'm listening to that. This will really get our glow going. And the book that I am going to be... I haven't started it yet. I've started it's called A Art Lover's Guide to Paris and Murder. So this particular book is going to be set in Paris. So, yeah, I'm listening to that. I've started it. The book that I am going to be reading, I haven't started yet. I am going to be reading... I got it from Libby. Hold on, I'm just turning the page for a second. What is the book that I'm going to be reading called? It's also a cozy... Oh, yes, it is called The Dark Days Pact by Alison Goodman. It is the 2nd book in a series. It's a trilogy, so there are 3 books. And this is book 2. I've already read book 1, and it's really interesting. It's about people who have special abilities, but it's set in it's Victorian times. Yeah, so yeah, really, really interesting. And it's about a people who have special abilities, and sort of some of them use them for good, some of them use them for bad. Okay, we're just going back in with the mauve over the white, and we're creating some shadow around these stars. We will hopefully get a shine by doing this. All right, and we're just going to put this around here, because they're casting shadows as well. Yeah, so as you can see, we're building up color. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to start reading this weekend. What else? What else did I see this week? Oh, I saw a cool thing on Threads. Yeah, okay, so here's our Threads update. So I saw on Threads, it was the cutest thing. There was a cat in a particular building that people found the cat. They knew that it belonged to one of their neighbors, but they saw it and then it ran away. And so they were all on the lookout for it because their neighbor had passed away. And then they were all posting notes, all the neighbors, on updates. First, they found the cat. Then one neighbor was looking after the cat. Then another neighbor was looking after the cat. And they kept posting updates to the entire building about the cat. So they would put a note on the bulletin board with the update. And the cat is now in apartment 3D. Or the tenant in apartment 2A has taken the cat. The tenant in apartment 2E has gone to the shelter to find out what they can do for the cat. So that was just the most adorable thing. And eventually they found a home for the cat. So, and at one point they were like, oh, we've learned that the neighbor who passed away, this cat might have been sick and needed medication. And then another update came, no, this is not the cat that needed medication. So, yeah, that was lovely to read. What else did I see on Threads? Yeah, there was another post about honey badgers. Honey badgers can be really aggressive. So there's a honey badger at a wildlife center in South Africa that has found ways to escape from its enclosure. It is a very smart honey badger. It piles stuff up near the door. It unhooks the latch and it goes into the lion's enclosure so that it can pick on the lions. It likes to pick fights with lions. Yeah, honey badgers are something else. They're going to take over the world. Yeah, watch out. Animals are taking over the world. We should beware. They are a force to be reckoned with. All right, so I'm just deepening up our shadows because we lost some of them when we put in the white. Okay. And I might roll in one more time with the indigo from the polychromos. All right, and then we're going to get a white gel pen and we're going to put in, I'm just doing that. Yeah, I want to deepen up these shadows around these. I'm thinking now, as for this background, do we want to do it something similar? I think so. We might even do this bit as well. But I think we're going to merge. Okay, we're going to merge. This part, I think, is going to be like a teal green, this tree. So we will merge the teal into the purple. But we will only do that bit once the tree is actually colored. Okay, I want to blend this out a little bit because it's looking a little harsh. And here too. Yeah. Oh, we've been at this for half an hour already. I get into the zone. What else did I see? The honey badgers, the cats in the apartment building. Oh, yes, so there are also updates in the coloring community a little bit. I saw that R.J. Hampson has a new website. He has a channel, a YouTube channel, if you want to check him out. And he announced on his channel that there's a new website. And they have for the whole month of April, they have 20% off all of his coloring books on the website. So as you know, if you've been watching the channel for any length of time, I do not like Amazon coloring books. And I want to just deepen up. Let's take this royal blue. This tree is casting shadow here. So let's do that and blend it out. Yeah, so I don't like Amazon coloring books. And all of R.J. Hampson's coloring books are Amazon coloring books. Now you can, Annika from Axic Fumbles, she raves about the coloring books from Amazon Japan. I've never actually bought anything from Amazon Japan. I need to give it a try. And so the one and only R.J. Hampson book that I have, which is Moonlight Mischief, is from Amazon America. And the paper is terrible. So I really dislike it. And so I've only colored one page and I did not enjoy the experience. So I decided I was going to take advantage of R.J. Hampson's 20% off discount all right, and purchase a PDF version of his of one of his books. And yeah, so that's what I did. I got Steampunk Revival. So I purchased it, and then after that I saw that Wendy from Jazzy Doodle Designs is doing a full book. Well, it's not a full book collaboration. It is an R.J. Hampson collaboration, but it's not a particular book. Instead, people can choose any R.J. page in their collection and color it. And Wendy will put a video together of all of our pages. She said she's capping it off at 100 pages. So people can color up to 2 pages, either 1 or 2 pages, but she's capping it off at 100. I'm just trying to see what's happened here. Yeah, let's make it a little bit round over there. Oh, there's a bird crowing. It's a crow. We have crows in our neighborhood. Oh, that looks nice. Okay. Now let's just one more time with the polychromos in the deepest shadows to make sure that we didn't lose our shadows. So check out, she has a video up on her channel. I don't know if there are any spots left, but you can try if you haven't done so already, if you don't know about this already. So I am going to be coloring a page from Steampunk Revival for Wendy's collaboration. I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, so I saw that. What else did I see? There are a couple of flip-throughs on numerous channels for Emily Lederhall Oberg's new book. It's called Fantasy Worlds. It looks good. I have only just started coloring in fairy tales and folklore, and I don't think I need another book, so I don't think I'm going to be getting that book. I also saw that the mythographic Fairy Folklore by Fabiana Atanasio has been published. It's out. Caru in one of my Instagram groups has done a short little flip through just so that we could see the pages. She's talked a bit about the paper. She tried some water. Something about the paper in this edition is slightly different from previous papers, and it's slightly thinner. Nevertheless, it takes watercolor because she tried it out. She wanted to make sure. Of course, it's single-sided, so it will take alcohol markers, of course. Yeah, she said the paper is good even if it is a slightly less thick. From what I understand, she said because the paper is slightly less thick, they might have increased the sizing, which means that it takes watercolor quite well. Okay. Now, do we have time? Yeah, I think we have about 10 more minutes. Let's, Toby's sleeping. Oh, he's not sleeping. He's just watching me. So let's just take this mauve. We're going to put it here in this area as well, but really lightly, because we want to get like a faded out look for the background. I'm not coloring the whole background. What we're going to do is we're going to do a background that fades out over the entire area, but not necessarily one color. And we might take the the areas that are relevant and do the colors for those areas to fade out. All right. Again, you just take advantage of the dots that Rita has given us. Okay, and we will fade those sections out with white as well. So yeah, very circular motions. All right. This bit, when we do these flowers, which I think are going to be pink, then the fade in this area will be pink. Okay. I like to do backgrounds either first or as I'm going along. If you do that, then you don't lose momentum. I have found that if I leave the background for last, I lose momentum, and then I'm not interested in doing a background. And I like to avoid that. So, and also, if you do the background first, you can see which color palette will work with your background. It's easier to choose a color palette that goes with the background than to choose a color palette for the background after you've already done the rest of the page. So we're just, oh, I said I was going to make that teal. Hold on, erase. 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to go for a quick search for the eraser, which had sprouted legs and walked off somewhere. Okay, so I'm just erasing this because we said it was going to be teal. See, now this is, again, the great aspect of layering is, I shouldn't be doing that with my finger, but never mind, is that if you've layered, then you don't have to worry about erasing. It erases quite easily. Okay, so yeah, let's leave that because we want it to be teal. I wanted the teal to merge into the purple when I get to that. Okay, so what was I talking about? I can't remember. We will talk about something else. What else did I see? Yeah, another thing that I saw this week was that Jackie and Shadow, I think that's their names, the bald eagles, had 2 chicks. Well, eaglets. I think baby eagles are called eaglets. I think that's what they're called. And yeah, they're so cute. So you can watch that. There's a webcam that you can watch of them. And from what I understand, they had a couple of eaglets a little while ago, but they got eaten. I don't know. They got eaten by something, and everyone was very excited that they had another 2 eggs, and now the eggs have hatched, and the little eaglets came out, and I watched some of it. So when they hatch out of the egg, they are really wet. Okay, so now we're going to. I'm trying to figure out which color to do for this. Or do we want to just leave it like, no, we definitely need a little bit of a gradient. Okay, so let's take the indigo blue, and I'm just putting this color in the shadow areas. Yeah, so when they come out, they're really wet. They're obviously covered in the membrane, and they were very bedraggled looking little things. And but then, yeah, I went away and did other things. And then I came back and I saw again, but now they were dry and they were all fluffy. They have obviously down. They have pure white, obviously because their adult feathers haven't come in yet. They have their baby down feathers and they're white and they are gorgeous, just magnificent and so cute, so cute. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I love animals, but I've never really been into birds. My gran, she loved birds. She loved giraffes and birds. She had a canary. Yeah. And, but, you know, I've always been, and I think I get it from my father. He was always like, he only likes pets that you can touch and pet. So I know that you can touch and pet a bird, but I don't know. It's just not the same as a dog or a cat or a rabbit or a hamster. I don't know. It's a different sense. I know that some people just love their birds. I like watching birds. I like watching the sparrows. We have sparrows. We have the crows in my neighborhood are really, they're a little bit too intelligent. And they're kind of aggressive sometimes. They swoop down. So I like watching birds, but I don't think I would have one as a pet. And the same goes for fish. I know that people also have fish and they make great pets, but as my dad said, you can't fish it out of the bowl and pet it. That's what he always said. Okay, we're leaving that because we don't want to go into that area where we want the teal. Oh, I like this. This has come out nice. Just there. So here on this edge, as I said, when we do the pink flower, the pink is going to merge into the purple. Okay, let's go back in with our mid-tone color, which is periwinkle blue. And we're just going to, you know, go over some of these dots. We're going to put white on them. So in order for the white to show up, you have to have some color on them. So that's what we're doing. We're putting color down so that when we put the acrylic pen, it'll show up. Yeah, so I saw that. What else did I see? I told you last time about the Kit Kat heist. So there is still the occasional post of condolences. Are we going to do anything there? No, I think that's going to be teal. All right, let's go back in with the dark indigo. Okay, just in the deepest shadows. Okay, and then we'll get the white gel pen and we'll put in our dots. We do need to color these stars, but I think that'll be next time because we're running out of time. I think I might even wait for the acrylic till the end so we can do it all together. I do want to blend out this dark indigo. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, just to there. We're not going any further. Let's go back in one last time with the mauve and just blend. Yeah, you can get some nice color gradients with this. Okay. So I know that Rita like merges all of her colors so beautifully, and she takes color combinations that don't seem that they would work, and then they do. So that's a skill I do not yet have. I have to work on that. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to blend out just the top of the mauve with the white. Okay, to get our blurred, faded look. We might even go back in one more time with the mauve. Okay. Oh, this is such a nice white. It's really a nice white. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to go also one more time over the white with the mauve. And I think we might even take an eraser and blur it a bit more. You don't want it to be uniform. Okay, let's take eraser, okay? And there are some sections that I just want to erase. Okay, and this way you get a blurred look on the edge. Okay, wait, let me not do it with my hand. I think a little bit more over there. And, oh, yes, and over there as well. And, oops, I just did it with my hand after saying don't do it with your hand. Okay, all right. I think that is it for today. Okay, at some point you also have to just say enough. Okay, let's zoom out and see what we have. This is what it looks like right now, and I'm really pleased with the glow of the sky that we've achieved. And of course we are going to fill in the rest of the page, and as we go along we will keep doing the background. right? So we're going to do the background together with the rest of the page, and it will be whatever elements are colored on the edges. So for example, here's going to be pink, I think. So we'll have some pink here. Here's going to be blue. So we will have blue here. Here there's, this is going to be teal. So we'll have teal. I'm not really sure what we're going to do here. Some of this crocodile is going to be green. The crocodile is going to be multicolored. I'm going to try and do what Rita does and make multicolored elements in this area. And we'll see if we can do that. Something to learn. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining me. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I wish you all a lovely weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.